What's up everyone, and welcome to a brand new format of video I like to call YouTube Boxing Daily News Recap, where I scrape together all the news, leaks, controversies and everything in between in the ever-growing space that is YouTube Boxing. So if you find it hard to keep up to date with everything, or just need a single place that has all the latest news, then subscribe for everything YouTube Boxing. Okay, so we have a lot of news to cover, and unfortunately I already recorded this video but it got corrupted, so some of this news is a couple days late, but I still wanted to report on it. So first we have Logan Paul seemingly confirming that he is returning to boxing. So he's released this video of him hitting the speed ball and catching a cat in prime. You can easily tell that he's in a boxing gym and he's in good shape, and obviously he's gotten over his injuries from last year. So is he making a return in 2023? He's definitely a fighter that everyone wants to see back in the ring. So let's take this as a positive that he's back in the ring, he's back training, and yeah, let's wait for whatever his next announcement will be. So next we have Anthony Taylor. So a couple days ago he announced that he is leaving Misfits and is vacating his spot in the Misfits Pro tournament. So this came as a bit of a shock because he was doing well at Misfits. You know, he lost to Idris Virgo, who's there in his comments. But you know, he's an entertainer. Love him or hate him, he brings eyes. His boxing skills is debatable, but he is a good entertainer. So he said that he was leaving Misfits Boxing. It was then announced that he was going to be on Masvidal's Gamebred boxing event and apparently fighting Paul Daly. But when this was released, he hadn't announced it himself. This just came out, I guess, as part of a leak, I don't know. But no contract was signed to my understanding. And as of today, he has announced that he has come back to Misfits on a multi-fight deal. So that's huge that they were able to secure him, because as I said, he does bring eyes to the sport. He is, you know, controversial, he is, you know, an entertainer, but the fact he's coming in at a multi-fight deal, as it says there, multi-fight deal, that would, I guess, be in line with the pro tournament. Because if it's the pro tournament where there's 8 pro boxers and, you know, you have not everyone fighting everyone, but the winners proceeding to semi-finals and the finals, that would make sense for a multi-fight deal. So it looks like he's back. They've obviously offered him a lot of money, as he says, briefcase of cash. So yeah, let's see what he has in line next. So on the topic of the pro boxing tournament, is apparently this person says that Mams Taylor said this, but you know, I can't find an interview, but Mams talks in a lot of places, so you could have said it anywhere. But apparently the fight is going to be at 170 to 175, which I think is the weight that Anthony fights at. So it all looks that he is back in the pro tournament. I don't know who else is going to be in it. It's not a stretch to say Idris is going to be in it, because I think he did win the last fight. Yeah, people like Paul Bamba talking about it. I still think, or at least it's confirmed now, that if it is in this fight, if it's in this weight category, Hasim Rahman's not going to be in it, because he's far too heavy. He's no way he's getting down to this weight. So yeah, at least we now know what weight the pro tournament should be in. So let's see what announcements they have. I assume they'll announce at the next event, but yeah, I think this is something to be excited about. So on the topic of the Misfits events, the tickets for Jason Ringler versus Nick Lamel went out yesterday, and as of a couple hours ago, JJ has said that there's only 500 tickets left. So they are selling so quickly. Like this time last night, so I'm recording this on the 8th, this time last night they were 75% bought within like 8 hours. So it's amazing to see that even without KSI attached to the event, admittedly it's a smaller event in a smaller venue, but even without JJ attached to the event, the tickets are still selling and people are still wanting to watch it. I mean, people could have just done it for the bottle of Prime, because let's be honest, it's cheaper to buy a ticket to the fight than to buy Prime from Wakey Wines. So yeah, that's good that the event's selling. On the topic of Nick Lamel, Jason Ringler's opponent, he's looking in really good shape, man. He's looking in good shape, but I think everyone known for ages that muscles don't win fights. You saw that in the Salt Papu versus Josh Bruckner fight. Muscles don't make fights, but at least it shows that he's dedicating himself and he's taking it seriously. So as long as he comes out and puts on a better performance in the chair at least, then you know, we should be in for a good fight. At the moment, I haven't seen enough from Nick to make me think, oh yeah, he's gonna beat Jay, but wait and see. You know, you never know in boxing, so wait and see. moving on to pro boxing temporarily, Vidal Riley is fighting this weekend against Anis Taj. That's going to be on Saturday night. When it comes to Vidal, we always know it's going to be a good fight. He's going to go for that knockout. I think he said that this might be his last journeyman fight, and after this he's going to start going up against harder opponents and making his way up to that championship level. So always amazing watching Vidal fight, always worth tuning in and seeing who he's going to demolish next. So this is an interesting clip from KSI. Let it play and we can discuss afterwards.
Oh, well, I'm just training against all of those fighters now. So no more southpaws. You know, people want me to fight Soul Pappy. It's not happening. Okay, I need to fight Jake Paul. I can't get distracted now.
No. So you can see here that KSI is saying that he's not fighting Salt Papa and he's not fighting any more southpaws. It makes sense because Jake Paul is clearly an orthodox fighter, and you want to train, and he wants to build up to fighting Jake Paul, so he needs to fight opponents that fight at least in a similar stance to Jake Paul to get him to a point where he's ready for that fight and give him the best preparation to win that fight. I guess on top of that, Salt Papi fight might be a bit risky because of how good Salt Papi is. But I'm not saying Salt Papi is better than Joe Fournier and Tyron Woodley and whatever. But I understand why KSI wants to not take that fight at the moment, because he wants to stay against orthodox fighters. He wants to build reputation and build his credibility to the point that he can fight Jake Paul. Speaking about his credibility, Tyron Woodley called him out for not being a man of his word and not fighting him when he was supposed to fight Dylan Dennis. Apparently he was supposed to fight Tyron Woodley, and KSI clapped back saying, which would he rather fight? Tyron Woodley, who's got knocked out by Jake Paul by standing still, or a pro boxer with a better boxing record than Tommy Fury? That being Joe Fournier, because he has a 9-0 record versus Tommy Fury's 8-0 record. So I think he's not necessarily confirmed that he's fighting Joe Fournier, but it's very obvious that that's the fight they're trying to make, and that's probably the fight that's going to get KSI most ready to fight Jake Paul, going up against, you know, a fighter with 9 wins, 9 KOs. You know, his opponents are, you know, neither here nor there, but you know, every boxer has that. Plus he went all 8 rounds with David Haye, so I think he is kind of confirming that they are still looking to make that fight. But until he's walking down the ramp and he's there in the ring, anything can happen, especially with KSI. His past 2 opponents pulled out. You know, you have to wait until the actual night to make sure he's actually fighting someone. On the topic of Joe Fournier, Vidal asked about who he thinks KSI should fight next. This is Vidal's thoughts. I'm gonna let it play, then we can discuss it afterwards.
For me, would be the best opponent for me, for JJ, just because he had the WBA International Light Heavyweight Championship. Now, Jake Paul has fought some good opponents, but he's never fought someone that's held a professional boxing title. So
what Vidal is saying here is that Joe Fournier is a credible opponent because he had that WBA international belt. He is a credible opponent who has fought at a high enough level, and if JJ can beat him, that kind of implies that JJ could fight in that league against people in that league of that caliber of fighter, whereas Jake's opponents have all been retired MMA stars. So, you know, that as much as it's a win for Jake when he beats them, it's not a win in the sense of boxing, because he's not fought a boxer, he's not fought anyone with boxing credentials. So if JJ can come in and beat Joe Fournier, it's going to boost his credibility to the point that, yeah, he could fight at an international level. So I'll keep playing and see what else Vidal says.
Fournier was a light heavyweight champion, WBA a recognized governing body. So
yeah, he's saying that the WBA is a recognized governing body. So if JJ can beat him, he's beaten a champion that has fought in the WBA in a recognized governing body, rather than, you know, a couple exhibition fights like what Jake's opponents have had.
For JJ to fight Fournier next, brilliant, perfect. That's exactly what's needed. And I feel like it sets him up nice for the fight at the end of the year that he keeps talking about against Jake Paul.
So there you go, he's saying that it's the perfect fight to build up to get him to a point to fight Jake Paul. Let me know if you think that Joe Fournier is the fight for JJ, and if not, who do you think it is? I personally don't think Tyron Woodley should be the person he fights. There's just going to be too much going on if he beats him, all the comparisons to Jake Paul. So who do you think he should fight next? Let me know what you think of this format of content. If you like it, leave a like, leave a comment. If there's anything you want to change, anything you think I can do better, leave that in the comments as well. I'm always up for criticism, constructive criticism. I'm always trying to make myself better, try and make the content better. So yeah, leave a like, and as always, subscribe for everything YouTube boxing.